Oh, hi, friends of Balsamiq. This is Peldi, and we are doing a live wireframing session today with our friend and customer, Florian. Florian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Florian. I'm from Germany, and I am a member of a marching band and here in Strausberg, that's Germany. And also, I'm one of the founders of an organization that creates educational programs for different marching bands here in Germany. And because we believe that connecting people of different marching bands is good for them to create new ideas and to actually create the future of marching bands.
Awesome, awesome. That's fantastic. And I was looking at your website, and it looks really good. Really, I liked all the animations and all the. It seemed really, really well done. So, what do
Thanks.
you need? What do you need Balsamiq for?
Yeah, we started last year actually to create events for people. So until now we created 6 events in 3 different locations, and now we go the next step and do more online stuff. And we just want to create an online environment where people can inspire each other, so they can share their knowledge and their visions, their inspirations to a lot more people. So
Okay.
this is what we want to develop now as a next step online.
Okay. So, let me go to your website right now. Um, I see that you have a listing of events already.
Right.
One sec. Let me share my screen so you can see what I see. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah, I do.
So, okay, here we are.
So yeah, it's German, right?
Yeah, that's okay. So, but I can see events.
Yeah.
So, what are you right now? You just list what they are, and can I click on one of them? What does it say?
Right. Then there's a page that describes the event, and you
Okay.
can register for it.
Nice. When, where, etc. How much it costs, etc.
Yeah, the courses, it's almost every camp has workshops to topic, and one camp is bar camp, actually, where people come together and create new ideas and projects together, sharing their knowledge.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would like to improve this section somehow, or what would you like to do?
So actually, we want to use Balsamiq for a new section.
Okay.
The thing I just told you to get to encourage people to have like a page where they have an interview, and they have the place to inspire other people with their
Ah, okay.
ideas and knowledge they have.
So
So it's
this
a
looks
section we don't have yet.
okay. It looks similar to this expert section, right? These would be interviews to these experts, maybe?
Yeah, these are just profiles of the
Right.
experts we have so far, and some of the experts will just present something other people can
Okay.
try out in their bands. That's the
Okay.
new section for.
So it would be like once a month, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know yet. It's
Okay.
yeah, maybe.
It's to be decided. Okay. All right.
It's a
So should we try to wireframe that this new section together?
yeah,
Would that be
sure.
useful to you? All right.
Yeah.
So let's start. You can see my screen, yeah?
Yeah, I can.
So let me create a new project. I'm gonna use Balsamiq Cloud for this, which is our new web version, which is still in private beta, sort of. It's almost ready, but if you see bugs, that's why. All right,
Okay.
so uh, band experts. And I'll invite you to the project later so you can collaborate, you can add comments, etc. So let's take a quick look at the current current navigation. I wonder if I can just copy paste. All right, browser, a link bar. Yes, that seems like it would work. Okay. What would this section be called?
Maybe just topics, because we have the events, we have the experts, the bands, and maybe it's a different another section, topics.
Okay.
Where, yeah.
Where would you put it?
For example.
Where do you think will make sense?
On the home page?
Yeah, I mean, would it would be one of these, right? It would be a top level navigation. Would it be maybe between marching bands and story?
Yeah, I think it's the third maybe after experts.
Okay, perfect. All right, topics. All right, so this is the new one, and we'll say that this is the selected one. Okay. All right, so that's how you get to it. That's nice. Then it seems like you always have the same header. Let's put that down there. Let me change the skin. I don't know why I used this wireframe one. We're just sketching still, so. All right. Let's make it gray. All right. Then you always have a title, a little explanation, and then I see here you have a way to filter. What are you imagining here? Something like, would it be something like this where you see all the different the pictures of the people that you interview, or would it be more about the topic themselves? Have you thought about it at all?
Yeah, I think it's a picture of the interviewed person.
Okay.
And then it's the title or the topic as a headline underneath.
Okay, so what's a topic, for instance?
I don't know. Leadership will be a big topic, but it's I guess it's a bit more in detail then.
Okay, so this would be something like Florian. I don't know. I don't remember your last name, Florian.
Saeling, Saeling.
Right. So something about. Would you have a little excerpt of the like our blog, for instance? If you go to here, you have a picture, a title, and a little description for each card, and the date.
Yeah, I think
Would it be something like that? Here we have a tag, right, which is the category.
Yeah.
This seems like the same kind of elements that you have, right? You have leadership, then an image, then the title of the post, which is here. Let's try
linked. Yeah.
So let's try to make it similar to that. So maybe this is a little smaller, and then let's do a title. Interview with this should be a text. Something like that. And then we could have the date. little bit of text on what it is. That's a bug. Let's see. How does that look, more or less? And then it could be a little card. Now, we could have, this could be responsive, of course, where you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Something like that. Is that more or less what you were imagining?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Card. And then we'll do... What's another topic? Education, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think everything is education, but
Okay.
maybe
Alright.
diversity. That's
Okay.
a topic where an expert can tell something.
Right, something about Sarah Lacey on how to have a diverse band. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe team building.
Okay. Okay. So this is nice from a user perspective, right? And then we'll have to design the next page, the single page, of course, right?
Right.
But then we, how do you, what's your content management system on the back end? Is it a WordPress site or?
Yeah, it's WordPress.
So we don't need to design any of that, right? You just use a WordPress template, and
Yeah.
so that's easy. Okay. All right. So let's see. Should we go into detail? Should we look at
Sure.
one? Now,
Yeah.
do you have? Oh, this is a pop-up. But for events, do you have breadcrumbs anywhere?
Sorry, what?
Do you have breadcrumbs to see where you are? Let me see. Let's try here.
I don't know what it is.
So a breadcrumb
Maybe.
is something like this, where I'll show you. It's like this. So it would be where you see that you are on breadcrumbs. Here it is. It's these guys. So you see you are in
Oh, yeah.
topics, and then interview with Florian.
Yeah, I think that's useful.
Because that way you know you're in topics, but
Yeah.
and it seems like you don't have it here. You know, for this.
No, we don't.
There could be another way to get to events, just so people don't get lost. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's just a suggestion. Let me add. This is your little logo. Put it here. Okay, so well, this would be kind of like a blog post, right? It's more of kind of like an interview. We have these case studies here, and it's basically similar to, I don't know, a Medium post, right? It's text with some images, some quotes.
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe it can be an interview on top,
Okay.
but maybe we have some text as well. So it might be a blog post, but the video has to be the most important thing.
Oh, there's gonna be so these are video recordings.
The interviews, yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I thought it was
Yeah,
via email.
No, it's a video.
Okay, awesome.
Like you know the TED videos, right?
Right.
TED Talks. That's a bit like TED Talks,
Okay,
but
fantastic.
not as a presentation, but as an interview.
Got it, got it. Okay.
But it's inspiring.
I see, I see. I see that you centered the titles some places. I think this would fit. Would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, all right. So what should we put on this page? We should definitely put the video front and center. And then I'm thinking maybe related videos, a little section here so they can jump around to other stuff,
Yeah.
right? Should we do
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Let's just.
If we have lots of videos, it might
Right.
make sense. Yeah.
Something like that. Other videos on leadership, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're calling them topics. And then we can. Actually, let's just do text. Full bar for now, and then. Okay, that's just an idea. We can flush it out later.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a little intro, or is there a transcript of the video?
Yeah. I think there's a transcript.
I think that's
Just
a good idea because that way it's much more searchable, right?
Yeah, and we can translate it maybe to English as well.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That'd be nice. So, what do you want to do? A little summary first, or no?
Yeah, a little intro.
Right.
Yeah.
Intro. And then.
Maybe a quote as well.
Oh, good idea.
The most inspiring quote.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me do that. This is a very inspiring quote. Where would you put that? I don't know. Let's put all the elements that we play around with the positioning.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that, and then there's the transcript. Or video transcript, because it's. So how does this work? You're gonna do the interviews, or is it gonna be like a Skype session here?
No, I'm not doing the interviews, but it's recorded. It's
Okay.
not live, but just an expert interview.
So people will send you the videos that they make on their own?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Maybe this way, or maybe we just produce them in our bands.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay. All right, this is gonna be super long. What we need is we need to tell people the topic here, what topic they're on. Right? This was leadership or diversity. Where do we put that? Where can we put that? Maybe it can be a tag here. Or if it's a category, then we can do this. Leadership. Right? And then if they go here, they can filter. Same here. We could have tabs just like you have already, which is all leadership diversity. This only works if you don't have that many. XYZ, ABC.
Many tags, you mean, or many videos?
Many tags, because if you have 30, then it starts wrapping. It's not great.
Yeah.
What do you think? How many do you think? Do you think that this could work?
Yeah, I just think 5 is enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this way you can see them. Let me move this stuff down a little bit. It's a little cramped.
This looked like a good stopping point for this episode, so we'll continue this with part 2 in the next week's video. Thanks for watching.